of this Africa event, and I hope that this conference leads to auspicious results. We'd like to thank Professor Dr. Kazım Uysal from Kütahya Dumlupınar University for his beautiful speech, for his beautiful contribution. Now, in all our conferences until 2023, we know that there is a person who will not leave us alone. With his technical team, the Secretary General, Mr. Ali Kurt, the Secretary of the unions. Now, the floor is yours, Mr. Ali. In the name of God, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear participants, welcome to the 4th International Islamic Union Congress. You have honored us. This year has witnessed a plague that has been all the more influential, impactful on the lives of humanity, as Professor Nevzat stated, and quarantine measures, in fact, causes governments, corporations, and individuals to change their habits radically, creating new structures. Now, educational and other efforts take place with remotely working mechanisms. That's why we are together remotely with all the brothers and sisters from different parts of the world as the representatives of a great geography with the spirit of unity, solidarity. Allah Ta'ala says that everyone's actions are shaped by their deeds, are shaped by their ideas, their intentions. As our Prophet, great Prophet, defines us as one single ummah, one single nation, we want to, of course, make deliberations concerning that. In the current conjuncture, dear colleagues, refers to the New World Order, which works in the fashion of separate and swallow or divide and manage. They create artificial states, they activate fait accomplis, and they use proxy wars, which is fashionable. They equip legionnaires, terrorist organizations that are the products of a terrorist strategy, and also they want to govern the strategic points as much as they desire. And these empty references, in fact, are a result of double standards, which lacks fairness. Starting with the Islamic countries, they occupy many points around the world and forcing people to emigrate and also die. General Adnan referred to millions of people, decision makers, have been contributing to this unjust, meaningless, and disproportionate chaos in Libya, Syria, and other parts of the world, causing millions of people to be victims. And also, they made the Mediterranean a huge cemetery before our very eyes. And unfortunately, that is the case. And those countries who are responsible for security in the Security Council contribute to those paid soldiers or foster occupations or conflicts through the proxy states, and thousands of millions of civilians are their responsibilities, as they lost their lives because of them. In Central Asia, Caucasia, Middle East, Kashmir, Egypt, Libya, in our geography, we see the designing of new Sykes Picots. These dominant powers have this approach based on their own interests, and the biggest victim, the biggest targeted population, also have the people uh, that are collaborating with them on their sides. With these hegemonic powers had their dirty policies like Daesh, Shebya, Boko Haram, and other theatrical structures continue to feed them, and they try to disrupt the Islamic perception in the national community in Eastern Turkestan, Philistine, Kashmir could not stand behind their decisions and insatiable desires of the capitalist and imperialist countries haven't been appeased. That's why those attacks continue at the same pace. If the United Nations want to establish a peaceful order in the world, then it should prevent the wealth of Islamic countries being stolen. Many dirty games are at play, which clearly demonstrate that as Muslims should not just complain about these injustices, but also get to know each other further and act in a feeling of solidarity and unity with sustainable projects on up to our own backyard. We are both obliged and have to do that, need to do that. Allah says, you believers, keep the justice standing for Allah and act justly. Don't let your hatred drag you to lack of justice. Be fair. Be fearful of Allah. But when you look at that, we see, for example, the Prophet says, those who are not asking for their rights is not one of us. How are we going to do that? Establishing justice and seeking our rights. How is that possible as the members of this religion? As our Dumlupinar University rector stated, we need to consider Islamic union a necessity, and this unity and solidarity can be only achieved by economic, social, political, and military pillars. In this 1500-year experience, we can draw this lesson that we can overcome such assaults only thanks to the Islamic unity. Regardless of how strong individual states are, they cannot stand alone. They cannot resist against the attacks of these hegemonic powers unless they act together. Although we have a rich potential young population and all other means, we need strong alliances and cooperations with countries around us. As an example, in Azerbaijan, Karabakh, also in Libya, we have seen that a developed defense strategy overcomes those challenging games. 354 NGOs from almost 66 countries came together, comes together in the Islamic world's NGOs. And we know that as such an NGO, that Islamic world can overcome all those challenges with unity and solidarity. I would like to extend thanks to General Adnan and ASSAM and ASSAM organizations who combine their powers, and also Üsküdar and Kütahya Dumlupınar universities, and all our colleagues and audience for taking part in this event. I greet you all respectfully and cordially. I wish auspicious results for this